Hey, we didn't level up or anything, did we?
No.
Okay.
Well, you leveled up to 11, right?
I think so. Let me check here real quick.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to pre-show, which I think is going to need to be extended a little bit because everybody's being tardy. So let's go ahead and see if we can't. We can't get some people here. All right. So yeah, as long as you're.
You didn't bring me over. Or didn't give me access to him.
I may not have been able to give you access to him because you weren't able to join us last time. That's a possibility. Oh, you and your... Okay. Spelling for me again.
Azarius.
Yes.
D-E-Z.
D-E-Z.
A-R. I-O-U-S, I think.
No, that's not it.
Hang on.
That's not good when you can't even remember how to... That tells you you're choosing a bad name when you can't remember how to...
Hang on. I have to type it. D-A-E-Z-E-I-R-O-S.
D-A-E-Z.
I'm here.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing good. My neighbor just popped in last minute, was talking to me for a few minutes. He just left.
Oh, okay. Alright.
I know, I saw Ivy's message. I know she won't be here tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
I think everybody else is supposed to be here James said he's going to be a few minutes late. All right. So Heather, I don't know. You may have some leveling up to do because for some reason I couldn't find Dez in the last game we just played, unless you did something with his name in that game. So I had to go back to
Let me look. No,
the previous game.
Okay. Did you try looking for Deep Seeker, Des?
Oh, no. Okay.
Try looking for Deep Seeker.
All right. Alright, so now now I can go back into this game. There are
Like Crane Raid won't be able to make it.
okay.
Looks like you got stuck at work.
Ooh. Well, okay, now you should be able to find this.
Okay.
Deep Seeker does, that is.
Hey, James.
Hello.
Hey, James, welcome.
Thank you.
And,
Hey, Ken.
and welcome. All right, we have a
There's
quorum.
Des.
Excellent.
I'm running late as usual on this day.
Oh, no, hey, that's all
You're
right.
good.
That's all right. Other people are running a little bit late as well.
We still ain't got adjusted to Wednesday nights yet.
Yeah. Well, some folks are dealing with adjusting to a lot of new things, including you, Michael, adjusting to a new job, new schedule, all that kind of fun stuff. Fortunately, it's a schedule that's more conducive to you playing on Wednesday nights, which is great. And, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ladles and jelly spoons of all ages and persuasions, I am DM Galabond. This is Wednesday night, so it is time for session 91 of the Sword Coast Chronicles. This is a session that I like to call Exploring Omu. Now, I'm going to give a brief recap, but I'm going to leave something out. I'm going to leave out a detail because Des has a decision to make, and Des has to make the same decision with the same knowledge that you all had when you made the decision. So, no spoilers, everybody. Last time, the wizard Bigby showed up at Strixhaven and brought a little bit of news about Omu. The most important piece of news is that, yes, indeed, he confirmed that there is a way that you can cheat the death curse one time. And that way is by making a deal with a coven of hags. And these hags They call themselves the Night Spawn Coven. And the special thing about the Night Spawn Coven is that they have a patron who is an archdevil, which means that unlike some hags, the bargains that they make are lawful in nature. So they are held strictly to their side of the bargain. And when they make the bargain with you. And the bargain that they offer is what you were told by Bigby is that you need to give them something from your person. It could be a lock of hair, could be a fingernail, could be an eyelash, but some part of your person you need to give them. And in exchange, they will give you a second soul. And if you should happen to die one time in this accursed place, then that second soul will be taken by the soul engine, and you can be revived, resurrected, brought back. And your soul will not be forfeit. But he says they are aware that you are coming, and they will meet you at nightfall at the Teleportation Circle. And so there's a Teleportation Circle in the far southwest corner of Omu. That a scroll of teleportation has been keyed to, which you guys are all given that scroll. And so using that scroll, there is no chance of any error. You will wind up exactly in that teleportation circle. The same way that teleportation conch that King Hecaton gave you will always take you back to Maelstrom. Because it's unlike the helm. It's not something where you have to concentrate on it. It's just tied into that location. So you then received some final words of encouragement from the Circle of 8 members. They all stood around like the Beverly Hillbillies at the end of the episode and waved goodbye to you as you unfurled the scroll of teleportation, used it, and found yourselves in Omu. Now, once you got to Omu, you discovered that the teleportation circle is inscribed inside what looks like an old guardhouse. And I am going to ping on your maps for you the location of that. It is down in this little corner here. So this is where you were. This is where the teleportation circle brought you. I believe it was Mulek gave Thaldor greater invisibility for a minute, and he was able to go outside, scout around, and during the daytime, he saw that there were some creatures on this ridge over here. They looked partly humanoid, but partly not humanoid. The best that he could figure, they are part human from the waist up, and they are snake-like from the waist down. And that brought to mind visions of the Yuan Ti with the discussion that the characters had. So they realized by the way this building is oriented that if they stayed in this southeast corner right next to the wall, they would be invisible to anybody here because it's a solid barrier. So they decided just to pass the day there. They waited, and nightfall came. And then this is where, Des, you have the opportunity to make a decision. As night falls, you guys were in Leomund's tiny hut. That was it the bard or the wizard that
Mulek put up the tiny hut. We also saw gargoyles too. I don't know if you wanted to mention that as well.
Yes, that's right. There were gargoyles that were over here, and when Mulek sent Casper up to fly around and scout, one of the gargoyles flew off of its plinth towards Casper, but Mulek was able to dismiss Casper before it could be attacked. But it was clear that the gargoyle was going to attack it. And once the owl disappeared, the gargoyle just circled a couple of times and went back to its plinth and reassumed its statue form. So it just went back, and you guys then noticed after you saw that one animate, you noticed it about every 50 feet along these walls. It looks like there are gargoyle statues. So taking in the size of the city, literally there are hundreds of gargoyles. And the only thing that seemed to bring their attention is when something flew up into the air. So that's all you guys know at this point. So now it's nighttime, and that means that we need to change the soundscape. It is now nighttime. And
Can I ask a couple of questions just
Sure.
for some clarification real quick out of character?
sure.
Okay. So question number one is just part of it is just clarification. So we have discovered that we have some of these older people like I'm sorry. The Circle of 8.
Yes.
They've been resurrected at some point in time, and now because of something going on, this is starting to basically claim their life. They're starting to.
Correct.
Okay. So what we're doing is we're trying to find a way of stopping this, correct?
They
Or
think
find
they-
something to counteract it?
They think they know the way to stop it, which is to find the tomb that Acererak constructed underneath Omu.
Okay.
Figure out a way of entering that tomb and go down to what is called the Soul Engine, this
Right.
machine, and destroy that machine. Destroy
Gotcha.
the machine, it stops the death curse.
Gotcha. Okay. So we know that these hags can give us, or these witches can give us something, this get out of jail free card or get out of death free card once.
Correct.
Okay, and then all we have to do is give them something off of our person.
That's Digby has told you yes. That's
Okay.
That's the deal.
Did he tell us or give us any warnings about anything that might happen if we don't end up needing to use that one get out of death free card? Or is it
no.
just for whenever?
Well, here's the thing. A bargain you make with a hag can have a time limit or may not have a time limit.
Okay.
Presumably, if a soul is implanted in you and you get to a point where, let's say, you successfully defeat the death curse,
Okay.
and you no longer need or want that, then you could probably go, one would presume, to a high enough level cleric of some faith, and they could do something to purge that second soul from you.
Gotcha. Okay.
That would be that. Or you could perhaps go back to the hags. Or if you think about it, you might tell the hags, hey, I would like to have this last just as long as we need to do this, and then maybe at the end, when we have accomplished our task, have them tell you how you can purge it.
Gotcha. Okay.
That would be a question that each of you individually would
No, that's fine. All right. Okay, that pretty much cleared up everything that I was kind of just making sure I wanted to verify.
Okay. So night falls, and shortly after the night falls, everybody sees a very attractive elven woman enter the one end of this guardhouse, where there's sort of this bent and dangling portcullis that you guys have seen there all day. And she comes in and she asks for Mulek by name. And when Mulek came out of the hut and dismissed the hut, and she saw all of you there, she smiled. And then two other women came in. And Des, you see two of the most lovely Furbolg women you have ever seen that walk in to the same entry behind this elven woman. And they kind of look at all of you, and then when their eyes fall on you, they give you these little sweet, girlish, kind of coy smiles. Like very, very flirtatious smiles. And the elf woman does all the talking, and she identifies herself as Nell. And she says that your mutual friend, Bigby, said she would find you here, and that she and her sisters can give you a gift. And that kind of makes you wonder, wait a minute, there's an elf and there's two Furbolgs, they're sisters? Well, okay, I mean, hags call themselves sisters, but these are by far the prettiest hags you've ever seen. And so one by one, the elf goes in turn to the other PCs, and what you know so far is that Mulek, Faliger, Bell, and Thaldor have all offered a lock of their hair. And now she turns to you, and she says, and you, Master Furbolg, would you like to receive our gift?
We were all kind of sitting around, correct?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So he leans close to Dorzafir, kind of whispers. Huh?
To Thaldor, you mean?
Thaldor, sorry. Leans over to Thaldor and goes, do you see that they're Furbolgs? He kind of covers up his mouth a little bit, and he's kind of whispering to him, just making sure that they're Furbolgs. You see them as Furbolgs, right?
No. What? No, I see three human women.
You see one elf and two.
One elf. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see one female elf, and two really attractive female women.
That's what I thought. I kind of look up at the woman that had spoken to him, and smile politely and go, yes, I believe that I do want to receive your gift. However, I would like to receive it as as something from you, seeing the real you. I do not need the use of seemings or disguises. You have nothing to fear from me, knowing what you really look like.
Oh, you're such a charmer, she says. And so you give her a lock of hair or a fingernail. What do you choose to give her?
I will basically reach up and just because this is Dez, he kind of reaches in a fingernail and scratches the inside of his ear and then scrapes out earwax from his finger underneath his fingernail and hands it to her.
Okay, so you do that, and she has produced a little silk pouch for each person, and so she takes this silk pouch, and she has received the hair, the little
a lot of earwax,
locks of hair from everybody with grace. When you hold out this earwax, there is a look, almost like a look of hunger in her eyes, in this elvish woman's eyes, as she is looking at this earwax.
And he kind of raises an eyebrow, like, "Oh, right."
And she reaches out to take it. And do you allow her to touch you?
Well, she's gonna have to, pretty much, to take the earwax. So
Okay.
I'm not going to, like, pull back or whatever.
When she touches you, I would like for you to go ahead and make a wisdom save.
Oh man!
Okay.
It started here already.
Okay.
I didn't see that. What?
I rolled a 1.
Oh.
Yes. Those two furball women are really attractive, but this elf woman, man, you've never seen a more beautiful female in your entire life. And it's like all Des can do to restrain himself from wanting just to wrap her in an embrace and kiss her. But he knows they're here for a job, so he's able to restrain himself. But man, she's really, really attractive.
Can I roll something to see if he would remember to ask about a time limit on this?
Yes, you can. You can roll with disadvantage because you're so smitten with her. Roll an intelligence. Roll an intelligence saving throw with disadvantage. Okay. Yeah. All thoughts of asking about a time limit just fly out the window.
Crap.
All right. So, she says, "Now, go to sleep, and when you wake up, you will have your gift." And she gives you a really flirtatious wink. And you feel very sad that she and the other two furball women are leaving. As they walk out of the guard room, you find yourself actually, kind of even without realizing it, you find that you've walked about 10 feet towards the door, and before you kind of shake out of it, and it's like, wow, that. I don't know whether Des has ever had that
Nope.
feeling before to that intensity. So,
Nope.
you guys set watch rotations, and during the time that Des is asleep, you become awake, or your eyes open. And when your eyes open, Des, you are completely unclothed, and this incredibly gorgeous elf female is also fully unclothed, and she is on top of you, and she is riding you, and she is really, really enjoying this. And she has both of her hands behind her back. And as she gets to sort of the peak of her enjoyment, her one hand comes out, and you see that it is holding a rusty knife.
I knew it.
And then as she throws her head back and screams, she is no longer this beautiful elf woman. She is this hideous, purple-skinned, wart-covered hag. And she takes the knife and she plunges it into your sternum. And you can feel this, but you are powerless to utter any words. You are powerless to move. And you can feel the burning pain as she slices you from sternum to navel and just sort of opens the chest cavity. Now, you don't start bleeding or you're not bleeding out. There's no vital organs appear to be touched. Then she brings her other hand from out behind her, and she is holding a writhing 2-foot-long maggot.
Oh, Jesus.
Except as you look in horror, this maggot has a very human face on it. And the face just looks at you and screams in utter agony. And the hag shoves the maggot into the opening of your chest. And then she pulls up a bone needle that looks like it has some sort of ogre sinew or something. And she just very roughly begins to sew up the wound down your chest. And you can feel the gut pulling through, and every time she pierces the skin, it draws some blood, and it's painful, and it hurts, and you can sort of feel this entity inside you just wriggling around, and it's very, very uncomfortable. And then she finishes, and when she finishes sewing you up, you wake up in a cold sweat. And of course, you are there on the ground, fully clothed in what you went to sleep in, and there's no sign of anyone except your companions around you. What does Des do at that moment?
Des will literally sit bolt upright, and with a fluid motion belying his size, he will attempt to basically stand straight up. And his hand is gripping his chest. And he just looks utterly disgusted. He's got just, he can't even put into words just what happened. So he looks like he's going to be sick.
Okay, speaking of that, I believe we established last time that Belle when she bolts up, she rolls over and starts puking. I can't remember whether it was Falliger or
Falliger threw up on Bell's tail.
Oh, Falliger threw up on Bell's tail. That's what happened, and that made Bell sick. And I don't remember whether Mulek or Thaldor.
Mulek threw up.
Yeah,
Thaldor just sits straight up, pulls out a gem of seeing. I was looking around. This is the first time you ever seen Thaldor just shit. My hands are trembling, and I'm taking pulls of my whiskey bottle. Just sitting there, just every time my hand goes to shake, I'm pulling a swig of whiskey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you want me to roll something to see if I keep my lunch, but yeah,
you can roll a Constitution save if you want. Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. It's supposed to be normal. Okay.
That's fine. 17 was the first roll, so yeah, you're fine. You see the others, but and then your hand goes to your chest. Do you reach under your shirt to feel your skin? Your skin is completely smooth. There's no scar, and as you get control of yourself, you don't feel anything moving around inside you.
I stand there and I'm like, you see Des, he's literally gone from sleeping flat on his back to standing upright within, half a second, and just horrid look of gross disgust on his face. He reaches up under his shirt, feeling his chest, and then he finally takes a deep breath, tries to center himself, tries to relax, and then he opens his eyes and goes, "That's why I never got married."
Here, you want a swig? And you see Thaldor hand the whiskey towards you.
And he will actually take a swig of it, which isn't very Des-like, but he's just kind of like, I gotta do something to get that foul taste out of my brain.
Right.
Yes. So, it's obvious and clear to you that all of your companions, with the possible exception of Krenraid, we'll have to find out.
Krenraid is just still sitting there snoring.
Yeah. Krenraid may just sleep through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you guys all have had a similar nightmare.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Although, part of you hopes it was just a nightmare, but part of you hopes that, okay, yeah, maybe there was something to this. But you hear Mulek muttering under his breath after he kind of clears the vomit off of his mouth. You hear, "Bigby's a dead man."
That's right.
And then you just see Des just give himself a whole body shake, just like Thaldor
stands up,
slapping around and everything.
You see Thaldor stand up, slap his face a little bit, shake his head, takes another pull, puts the stopper on the whiskey bottle, puts it in his jerkin. He goes, "Okay, what do we got to do? Because we can't stay here another night."
And Des looks at him and goes, "I'll tell you what, I would be willing to go take a bath even in a cesspit at this point in time, because I'm sure it's a hell of a lot cleaner than I feel."
That's fair.
All right. Well, it's after this ordeal, it's not much longer before you can begin to see the pearly pre-dawn in the sky. And basically where you guys are next to this eastern wall, that means that you notice that the stars start to get a little dimmer, and at first you wonder what's going on, and then you realize, oh, it's not the stars getting dimmer, it's the sky getting lighter. And then after, maybe after half an hour, you can start to see the first evidence that the sun is beginning to peek over the horizon. So you have survived the night. Everybody, despite the ordeal, everybody has the benefits of a long rest. So I don't think anybody was down any spell slots or needed any, because I think all the stuff that Mulek did was ritual. But if you expended a spell slot for the greater invisibility, then that's back because you've got a long rest.
I used IG to do that, and so I think I would have cast something else on him.
Okay,
and then, and then I'll get it back.
Yeah. Okay.
Something of what I had prepared.
Sure.
So I'll make sure I've got that done. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and put down on your character sheet whatever you would be giving IG at this point. And then you can begin your preparations for the day. And as the sounds of night fade away and the sounds of day come around you. What would you all like to do now that it is daytime?
Go find the closest cesspit and take a bath? I don't know.
No, Dad. I know how you feel. But no, so Thalor peeks outside the door to his right and looks up on top of the ridge to see if they're still doing rotations of shift.
Okay. Yeah, you know where to look, so I'm not going to make you do another perception check. You watch for a little bit, and for about 10 minutes, you don't see any movement up there. But yeah, everybody who wants to, go ahead and make me a perception check, if you will. You guys were aware that there were people watching, so I'm just presuming that everybody's being relatively quiet as you get prepared.
Galabon, when I had released Casper into the air, did I notice about how high up he got before the gargoyle reacted, or before I would have, or when I would have noticed?
It was somewhere. It was somewhere between about 20 and 50 feet off the ground. So
okay.
He didn't get very high before the gargoyle reacted.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. Yeah. You spent about 10 minutes, and Thaldor, you don't see those figures up there this morning.
I pull back in. I look over at Mulek and Dez and Polish and everybody, and I look at Mulek and go, "How high up do you think Casper got before they saw him?"
Oh, it's about 30 or 40 feet, somewhere in there.
Because I'm wondering if their vision's based on line of sight around the rim of this, wherever we're at. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they might not be trained to look down. You know what I mean?
Didn't you say they were sort of focused over near those stairs?
Oh no, that was there's some weird looking creatures. I think we found out what those were last week.
You on T. Yeah.
Are you talking about the gargoyles?
Talking about both.
Oh.
The gargoyles think line of sight. I think it's just anything around the rim of this perimeter. If something goes through it, they'll go after it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think if we want to get into the meat of the town, I think if we're quiet, we may be okay, because I don't think they're focused down here at the moment.
Okay. Thaldor, just before you pull your head back in, as you finish looking over in the direction you were looking, you notice something to your north. Something coming from about right here. You notice a stream of smoke rising into the air. And it's a stream of smoke that looks kind of like a campfire.
I relayed that to the party. It looks like somebody's lit up a fire, probably about, what would you say the distance is on that galley? 250 feet?
I think this map is correctly keyed, yeah. So
Okay.
it would be somewhere between about 600 and 700 feet away.
About a half a mile. So yeah, I tell me look at the others. I'm like, yeah, I saw a cloud of smoke coming up from about half a mile away north. There are other people here, apparently. Whether they be human, I don't know. We do know about the UNT. That's about it.
Well, we could go check it out. We just should be aware that, see if we do check it out, if there's any sentries keeping watch as we approach.
I'm thinking ain't nothing we can't handle.
Of course.
We did take down a giant blue dragon after all, ancient. So.
I heard about that. Impressive, gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to take you back to Fanolin sometime and show you the skull. It's glorious.
Well deserved, I'm sure.
You missed out, buddy.
I had other obligations in my life, unfortunately.
Yep.
But it seems that my obligations are now also entwined with yours, so...
I don't think we'd have it any other way, Des. Welcome back. And you just see Thaldor run up, give him a big old hug.
Oh. and Thaldor, or not Thaldor, good God. Sorry, it was a long day at work. Des kind of ruffles his hair a little bit, pats him on the head. It's all right. I'll be here for a while.
Okay, for tonight, just to sort of give us a reference of where the party is, I'm just going to use Bell's token to indicate where you guys are on this large-scale map. And then if we need to go to other maps, I will move to those other maps. But this will just sort of keep track of where you guys are. So... Thaldor, when you were walking around the day before, you kind of got a sense of the layout of this part of the city. You know that there is a bluff here, and you know that at a couple of different places along the face of this bluff, there have been stone stairs carved going down to the next level of the city. They are not nearly as grand or as impressive as the main staircase coming down into the city from the high bluff. But, they're size that all of you guys from the dwarf to the firbolg can get down them without any issue.
Yep, so, I relay that to the group. It's like it's... but I was going to say, we might as well get moving while we have daylight to burn. And then just keep a lookout. Somebody needs to watch our 6, and we just need to get on out of here.
Well, I can always turn into my black dog and kind of keep an eye out on the back side of things.
That might not be necessary, Des. You know, you don't stand out that much above head and shoulders. Think we'll be all right. You might need that trick later, so I'd hold on to it. What do you say, Mulek?
Yeah, I mean, whatever he wants to do, whatever's most stealthy and low to the ground.
Makes sense. I mean,
Besides, the dog can move a lot faster than two of you guys, so I can
that is
always
true.
catch up and you know,
Unless you want to send Des
know,
out to scout.
the nose is sometimes better than our noses. So
Yeah, I'm going to bring Scout, or not Scout, Casper to Scout. I'm going to bring Casper back and just communicate to Casper to provide, try to blend in, but to fly lower than maybe 20 feet.
Okay.
And keep an eye out, see if and to stay pretty close to us, so that within communication distance to me,
Which is what, 100 feet?
Yeah, 100 feet. Just to kind of go ahead of us, just to kind of go around. If it sees anything that looks like it might try to attack, or if I see anything that looks like it might attack Casper, I'm going to blink him out immediately.
Okay. Now, this morning, as you're doing that, Mulek, you're making some fairly specific instructions, and you're looking around with an eye to what happened yesterday. And what you notice is, there are some trees that are growing here on this level, and you do hear bird song, and you do notice from time to time birds. These are diurnal birds as opposed to nocturnal like the owl. Birds will occasionally flitter out of the trees and flitter down to the ground, and then just sort of walk around and peck in the dirt or the dust. Either they're trying to get seeds or grubs or vegetation or whatever they eat, and then they will get up and they will fly back into the trees, and that doesn't seem to occasion any reaction from the gargoyles. So, but you do not ever see those birds fly higher than the tops of the trees.
Okay. So question then, since I see these birds, are birds considered a beast?
Yes, they are.
So what I would like to do is grab my stone speaker crystal out of my bag and use it to cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
So I'm going to burn two of those charges.
Okay, now verbally. So I have to pull up Speak with Animals and see what the range is. Because I know it casts on yourself, but how far away can you communicate? How far away is the animal you can communicate with?
Good question.
Oh, that's interesting. It doesn't specifically say.
Targets.
Just looking to see if there's a okay. Let me do this. Let me check.
The intelligence of a bird?
No. I am, since it doesn't have a range, Okay. I am just going to say that it's the same range as Animal Friendship, which is 30 feet.
Okay.
So you cast the, you use the charges, put Speak with Animals on yourself, and that is going to give you the ability to communicate with a bird as long as it's within 30 feet.
And how far would you say the closest tree where I see birds flying to and from would be?
Oh, you can easily walk there in a couple of minutes.
Oh, a couple of minutes? It's okay. So the birds are like, or the trees are on this level, or down.
Oh, okay. I'll take that back. You can get to one within.
I mean, I can if there's no trees on our level, I'll just wait to cast it if we start moving and I see the birds. I mean, if I see the birds off to a distance, then I'll wait to do what I'm doing until I get close to the trees.
Yeah. Going by what's on the map here. Yeah, you see a little cluster of trees down here by this building,
and I see birds fly around. Okay. Yeah. So I'll hold off on what I just said. I'll wait until we're on the move and we get close, and then I'll do that.
Okay. All right. So, anything you guys want to do before you head out, other than just presuming you've prepared your spells?
Yeah. So
I drop the gem of Sing and reattune to my dagger of warning.
Okay. All right. You can do that as you guys are getting ready to break camp, such as camp is.
I am going to also so I'm now going to pull out the Stone Speaker crystal out of my bag of holding, and I'm going to cast Fortune's Favor at. I'm going to cast it at level. At level 4. And since I'm holding the Stone Speaker crystal, it doesn't cost me 100 gold pieces. And I'm going to cast that on myself, and then I'm also going to touch Thaldor and Dez.
Okay.
And while I do that, say, I'm imparting a little luck on you.
Can always use luck.
Okay, so that is...
so for 1 hour.
For 1 hour.
So anytime they make an attack roll or an ability check or a saving throw, they have advantage.
Well, okay.
Or they can roll an additional d20 and choose which one to use.
Yes, and remember, when you make an attack roll, ability check, or a saving throw, you can dismiss the spell, and that gives you the additional d20. So it's a one-time second d20, and then you choose which one to use. So basically, it's one time giving yourself advantage within the next hour. So once you use it within the hour, it goes away. So it's a one-time benefit.
Was it a? I don't.
Yep.
I didn't think it was. It is one.
Second sentence. When chosen creature makes attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
It dismiss the spell. Okay. Yep. You're right.
Yep. So.
Dang it! I thought it was for a full hour.
No. No. That would be too powerful for a first level spell. All right. So.
Well, it's technically I used a 4th level for it, but anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, here's an interesting homebrew alternative. We're gonna do it exactly the way you said it for now, but an interesting way to homebrew this spell would be to say, if you upcast it to 4th level, you can either A, get additional creatures, or B, you can use it on yourself and make it, instead of a one-time use for an hour, you can make it a 4-time use or a 3-time use or whatever it is.
Yeah, I guess any level, it's a level 2 spell. So anything, if I go through 3 level, I get 2 uses. 4th level, 3 uses. So
yes,
that's cool. All right,
so that would be an interesting way to homebrew that spell.
Cool.
Make an alternative homebrew thing, but we're not going to do that for now. So don't let anybody get confused.
Yeah. Cool. Good to know.
All right. So, do you guys just want to head out? Is anybody going to do any kind of disguise or spells?
Yeah, Dez is he's gonna kind of double check with you guys one more time if you guys are okay with him shape changing and going out as a dog to scout.
If it enhances your ability to perceive danger and to be stealthy, I'm all for it.
Okay.
Do you have any code barks or sniffs or something you want to?
Probably. Yeah, I was going to say that's probably a good idea, is to set up ahead of time as, one bark is all clear, or no. I take
probably don't want to be too loud.
No.
Maybe like a tail wag or something. Or a nod. Maybe nod your head,
or the way it paws the ground or something.
Yeah. So if he comes running up and paws the ground once, it's all clear. Twice, caution, something's near. And 3, book the shit out of here. Book it. Just run.
So 3 means danger. Run.
Yep.
Like get to safety.
Yep.
Hide. Okay.
And if the dog turns back into Dez, you know something is really bad.
Yeah.
Something really bad has happened.
And
that he's just tired of being a dog.
And if it's 4 times, it's this type of creature. If it's 5 paws, it's this other type of creature. If it's 6,
no.
Nope. One, we're all clear. 2,
caution.
Cautious. And 3,
get the hell out of there.
Book it.
Okay, so all right. So you've spent, I'm going to say that during the time that Thaldor was attuning to the weapon of warning, you guys were working this stuff out. So at the end of that hour, you all are ready to go.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered, sorry. I think there's, wait, where did it go? I thought I had one more thing I could do. Oh yes. So before we take off, to help us communicate, I'm going to spend a few minutes and cast Telepathic Bond on all of us. So I guess that will allow Des to even still communicate with us as an animal, right? Maybe.
Does he have that?
You're doing what? Are you doing wild shape?
No, what she's doing.
Yeah, wild shape.
Wild shape.
I think there's a feat you have to have in order to keep your mind while you're that animal.
Well, I'm just doing this. It's like your game statistics are replaced by the stats of the beast, but you retain your alignment, personality, and intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores. So yes,
cool.
You would be able to telepathically communicate as Des because you still have Dez's personality, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
And I will also, so this will also be cast on Casper, so Casper is no longer limited by my 100 feet.
Okay.
So that I think that will extend my telepathic bond with Casper. It's unlimited within the same plane of existence.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm glad I forgot about that. I haven't cast this very often. So.
Yeah, this is the party line spell.
Yeah, so it's like we all got walkie-talkies in our ears. We can all talk to each
But I
other.
also have message too. So
Two
That's
ringy
cool.
thingies.
hey, fellas, you there, Ken?
Yeah. I've been here for a minute. It's just I didn't want to interrupt you guys talking. So,
Is there anything you want to do before we head out?
Not really. I wish I would have bought a lot of healing potions, but other than that, I think that's what else can we out of character? It's like we're here, you know. So.
Well, would your character have bought a lot of healing potions before we left?
Oh yeah, yeah. If I knew we were coming to like fight a necromancer and some kind of like.
Yeah, so I'm sure you could.
Ziggurat of Doom or whatever. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can retcon that, whatever you were going to buy, since you knew.
We've kind of established what the prices are. So if you mark off the gold, then you could add to inventory whatever number of healing
I got busy and forgot and didn't buy stuff, and I didn't want to be a pain in the ass being like,
no, that's all right.
You're fine.
So
That's
I'll just add whatever I want to add, and then yeah. So no, Falliger doesn't really need to do it. He's just like his mission is just try to protect people and keep them from dying.
I did learn this the other day that you can revivify Grenade for free
Because of his racial?
because he's a zealot barbarian.
Is that
I learned that the other day.
Is that a once per day or something?
However many spells to revivify you got, as many times he dies.
Even does it bypass the?
It does. It bypasses the cost amount.
Sweet. So he could just be our sacrificial party member.
But not here. But not here.
Not
yeah,
here.
exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
But if we were anywhere else, if we were to die, you can revivify him for free over.
Who do we?
Over and
There
over.
may be traps up there. Who do we send ahead? Cred.
Grenade.
Go step on that. Go push that. Okay.
Yep.
Here, I'll give you a drink of this if you go step on that.
Okay. I'm gone.
There goes.
Okay, so you guys get ready to head out. Des as the pooch, and the rest of you as yourselves. Okay, so you leave the safety of this building, and as you look out, you can tell that this place has been abandoned for decades, at the least. There's a lot of areas look like they were roads or plazas or walkways that were made with large cobblestones, but some of those cobblestones have like a little layer of soil over them, and everywhere that there's soil, there's kind of a thin grass that is growing. And there's just decades of detritus of dead leaves and things like that are there. And those of you who have any kind of outdoor sensing, definitely Des, and definitely with the dog's heightened sense of smell and everything, you can tell that there are places that a lot of natural creatures are walking through here. So yeah, you would imagine a lot of 4-footed animals, probably some boars, probably some deer, probably some small creatures like that are going through here. You do see a couple of tracks that look like they are potentially large 3-toed lizards. And that brings back to the back of your mind something that you've heard about Schult, that it's home to some monsters that you don't find anywhere else in all of Toril, at least as far as anybody knows.
Gotcha.
So, but you don't see any specific signs of that. There's also places where animals have rubbed up against trees or against the sides of buildings. Most of the buildings here are made of stone, and most of the stone looks like it is locally quarried stuff. Granite. In fact, it looks like when they built this city, part of the reason that these bluffs are here is that the actual city itself was carved out of the rock that now forms the bluffs here. So you might imagine that before Omu was ever built, this jungle was just one flat expanse. And maybe because of the water source that is in one part of the city, that might be the reason people settled here. But the city then was carved into the soil out of this area. So it's kind of an impressive feat of engineering. But that, again, there's vines growing up the sides of the buildings. Tile on the roofs have been dislodged, and some of them have fallen and shattered on the ground. There are some windows have shutters hanging by one hinge. Most of them don't have any shutters on them at all, and there's like vegetation growing into the windows. So, and there's holes in the sides of some of the buildings. The doors mostly have rotted away or have been broken down. And as you look into the buildings, it just looks like inside the buildings has been gutted, looted. You can see inside some of them evidence where, there's old campfires, charred wood, but nothing recent. And, you just basically hear the sounds of the creatures and the birds as you move along. So then, Mulek, as you get about here, you're getting closer to those trees where you see the birds.
Okay, when I know I'm within 30 feet of a bird, I'm assuming it's probably going to be up in a branch or something.
Yeah.
I will again grab my stone speaker crystal, use 2 charges to cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
And I will look at one of the birds and quiet enough, or loud enough that it can hear me, but quiet enough that it's not going to make a huge noise. I'm going to ask, "Hey, little guy, have you seen any humanoid creatures like us in this area recently?"
And the bird's head whips around, kind of almost in alarm, and
don't be afraid.
Looks down at you and says, "You strange.
We're friends.
Strange. Friends.
We are friends to you. We mean no harm. But
you don't take my grubs. You don't take my grubs.
No.
They're my grubs.
Yes, they're your grubs. I am Mulek. That's what I am called. Do you have a name?
I am me.
You are me. Nice to meet you, me. Anyways, have you seen any large creatures, danger, in this area recently?
And it begins it kind of communicates to you something that you eventually realize what it's communicating to you is it's communicating the way that it tells time, which it has to do with the position of the lights in the sky
Mm-hmm.
and the direction of the wind and the relative humidity and those sorts of things. And it spends about 2 minutes explaining, and what you untangle from that is it's saying that yesterday it saw people that had red skin that hung all the way down to the ground. And it calls it skin, but as it kind of describes it, you think, oh, she's probably talking about robes.
Right. Yep.
And then it indicates that they went in the direction that you are going. And then a couple of hours later, many serpent men went in the same direction. And then there was a loud noise and there was fire. And then it says in several days there'll be lots of grubs. Good grubs.
And when he said yesterday, did he give any indication? Was it when the sun was low on the horizon? Was it midday?
It seems to be yesterday, kind of in the early to mid-morning.
Early to mid-morning. And then two questions I'm trying to clarify is how many red-skinned creatures and how many serpent creatures?
And the bird kind of looks around at you all, and it doesn't seem to have a concept of
more than my group of red-skinned.
And it says, yes, your group, and your group, and your group.
For the redskin or the serpent men?
Redskin.
What about the serpent men?
Your group, and your group, and your group, and your group.
Okay. Do you know if those serpent men are they over by the smoke? Do you see the smoke over? And I point kind of towards the north. Are those serpent men still over there?
Serpent men, many places in city from time to time.
They move around, constantly moving around?
Many places. Yes.
Are there any in these, and I point to these two buildings that we're close to here and here. Are there any danger in these two locations from what you have seen?
And it says no man nest. No man nest in those places. They're rat nest in those places.
Rat nest. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your help. Enjoy your grubs. And
Go take grubs.
I'll reach into my pack and pull out maybe some partial ration and toss it onto the ground. Maybe you will like this. I don't know.
It looks, and it's wary of getting too close to you, so it just sort of looks at it.
You can enjoy it when we're gone if you want.
Says, if good, you bring more.
Sure. Thank you for your help. And I will, if the party is close to me, I will relay what the bird has just told me that some.
Well, with the
telepathic bond.
Telepathic bond.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
the
wait
bird
a
is the
second.
word.
What's that?
So I said the bird is the word.
The bird is the word.
Bird's a word. Bird.
Goonie got the joke.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see.
And they built this city on rock and
roll.
Oh my goodness. Oh God.
We were all thinking it when you said that.
Welcome to the jungle. You got fun and games.
Yeah, okay, so
You better watch it. You're going to get some inspiration taken away.
yeah. Okay. Oh, I just
You
need
got that
to.
damn song stuck in my
Some
head.
things are given and some things are taken.
Yep. There you go. Oh, what were the speak with animals? Okay.
All your fault.
That
Yeah.
is
When I speak with animals, I can hear what they say, but I don't know if does that get translated in my mind and then telepathically shared with others.
Okay. Yeah.
could say it does.
I was just double checking. No, I don't think it does. I think
Yeah.
but you could think it to them almost kind of like a translator at the UN translates what's being said. You could kind of translate it to them in real time.
All right, cool.
So that you would
That
have
works.
to separately tell them. And yeah, the amazing thing about all these spells is none of them are concentration. So that they can all be active at the same time. So who knew? All right. So yeah.
Okay. So
you go past all these dilapidated buildings, I guess. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to go between the buildings around to the east or what?
Well, it looks like based on what we just heard, we need to be cautious. It looks like these serpent men are. And I guess we got the telepathic bond. We don't even have to make noise. So I'm just telepathically out to the group saying, we need to be on the lookout for these serpent men. And it looks like there's probably a party of them up where that smoke is.
We could always get the jump on them.
Well, but remember, there's 3 to 4 times the number of our group potentially up there.
They want us to observe.
Yeah, we probably need to observe, and whatever we do, we're going to need to do it stealthily, because I imagine once a ruckus is made, we could bring a whole army of these on us.
Do we know, Gally, if we have any allies in this area?
You do not.
Guess we truly are on our own.
Oh, now, you guys have heard about this death curse from Mordenkainen, and the Circle of Eight have been researching this. It's affecting them. Does you know that your home village and in other cities across Faerun, you know that people there have begun to be affected by this death curse as well. So it would stand to reason that people the length and breadth of Faerun are probably trying to research this and figure out what's going on. Now, you have mentors who are legendary wizards, so you don't know if they arrived at a conclusion faster than anybody else, or if others may also be on the same track. So you may not have allies as in people that you are expecting to meet, but there may be other people with similar goals that you encounter along the way. So
That makes sense.
That would be something. Des would be able to fill you in on what he knows from his village and what he's seen in his travels, getting back to, back to Strixhaven to meet up with you, and the Circle of Eight. They're very, very much concerned about themselves. So they haven't shared a whole lot of what's going on outside of them because, of course, anything they're interested in is the most important thing in the world as far as they're concerned. Anybody would be foolish to care about anything else. Right. So, yeah, make me a group stealth check. And what I mean by a group stealth check is everybody rolls a stealth check. There's a number I'm thinking of, and if the majority of you succeed, then the entire group succeeds.
All right. Well, I'm going to use one of my pills of guidance.
I get advantage on stealth.
You okay?
Give me a second.
Ooh.
Roll 20's acting goofy.
I get a 22.
22.
Well, that's stealthy for you.
Yeah. So now, Des, you would use the probably the dexterity of the dog creature. So, so we have a 19, or we have a 22, we have a 16.
Hang
on. Thaldor? Go ahead.
I'm trying. It's roll 20 is being really finicky.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey Ken, did you do guidance? Is that what that +4 is? Oh, there you go.
So 22 and a 19.
What is
That's good.
stealth run off of? Stealth is
Dex, I think.
Dex.
Yes, it's Dex.
Okay.
24.
24.
Gally. Yeah. Oh, did he come
Okay.
through?
Yep,
Yeah.
it did.
Wow. Okay.
Took a while, but it finally came through.
I got +13. Jeez.
All right, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, that's the lowest I can roll.
I probably don't need Fortune's favor. I need to use Fortune's favor on you that much. You roll so high on.
Well, it depends. I mean, everything. Okay, cool. So 16. Yeah. All four of you beat the target, which means that you do not need to make a second stealth check. One stealth check gets you all the way to the entrance to this plaza, where a sight meets your eyes. So I'm going to tell you what you see here.
Hopefully it's better than the sight that met our eyes last night.
We're going to tell you what you see here, and then we're going to take a little break. You come into a walled compound, which is more than a building. It looks like this is a cluster of buildings. So at one time, it might have been a palace, or it might have been, some kind of industrial area or something like that. But it's all surrounded by a wall that's about 15 feet high. And smoke drifts lazily from the center of this walled compound. The gate lies in splinters and scorch marks deface the buildings. Near the center of the compound is a plaza littered with charred human corpses. One of the corpses is being torn apart by a pack of wild dogs. That's what you see.
Yummy.
And that's where we will go ahead and take our break. So you guys can decide what you might like to do there. All right, viewers, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this evening. I am DM Galabond. If you're enjoying on Twitch, please go ahead and give us a follow or subscribe to the channel. And if you're enjoying over on YouTube, then do like Girly Ghoul did today and subscribe on the YouTube channel. So thank you guys for subscribing and following on both of the platforms. We are going to take our mid-session break, and that means I'm going to set the timer and put the music back up, and then we will be back in about 10 minutes after we get some beverages and complete any biological functions we need to complete, and we'll come back comfortable and ready for the second half of the stream. All right, so we do this and we do this. All right, and players, as you all know, you can either stay here and chat on the stream, or you can move to the off-stream chat channel and talk there. I'm going to mute while I step away.
How's everybody been lately?
Pretty good. I'm gonna run off though here for a sec, so I'll be right back.
All right. How you been, Goonie? Thanks, you ran away. Ken, are you here?
Yep. What's up?
Nothing. Been doing all right, buddy. Just checking in with you.
Yeah, I've been doing okay. Just
Good bus job and treating you okay?
yeah, just long days, busy.
Well, that's good, man.
Yeah, next year I'll be making $2 more an hour than I'm making now. So
Well, that's
pretty cool.
always good.
Yeah.
Better
Yeah,
schedule.
Yeah, $28 an hour for a bus driver is pretty damn good in my opinion.
Yeah.
And next year I'll be on a guaranteed 40-hour-a-week schedule, and I'll be done by 5:30 Central Time, unless I run a little bit late for additional reasons. So
Well,
that'll be
that's
nice.
good.
Yeah, it'll be nice. And I'll be on summer accrual, so I can actually probably take a vacation.
That'll work. Is that why you're working 3 weeks of the summer?
Yeah, because I'm not on teacher pay, so that'd be like the whole summer I wouldn't receive any cash flow. So I'm gonna do that.
Dang, I don't
And-
blame you.
Yeah, I really wanted to go. See, I really wanted to go to Europe for my 40th birthday, but I don't think that's gonna fucking happen.
When is that?
Next year. Oh, April 28th.
Well, you never know. Save up the money. Plane tickets might be cheaper by then. You never know. Things change so much.
I forgot we're still in the recorded channel. Whoops.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I really wanted to. April 28th, I'll be 40, I guess.
Oof.
Hey.
Yeah. What?
Nothing.
Call me a
I'll be-
baby?
Yeah, baby. I'll be 50 in about 3 weeks.
Man, my aunt just turned 50 today.
I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it. I mean, I should have been saving this year to go. Because I imagine it's probably going to be, I don't know. I'm guessing for running around for 2 months in Europe,
Well,
thinking about-
it depends on where you want to go.
I was
If you
thinking
get-
about maybe at least 15 grand is probably what I needed.
Well, here's my question. Where do you want to go?
I want to hop over to Ireland. And then
Okay.
I'm maybe jump over and see a little bit of Scotland. And then I'll jump over the pond and go into south of France. And then I'll probably start trying to take the train system and make
You would do better to
my way
go
east.
from Ireland and Scotland to the UK, go to London, hop the train from the UK to France, and then go from there because you can take the train from the UK to France and then hop around to be cheaper on you. And going just from Scotland, Ireland directly to South France. Go from the UK to France.
Yeah. I definitely want to go basically surround the... I want to go and take the Alps countries. So I definitely want to go into like Italy and Switzerland and Austria. And that, and then kind of work my way towards and basically end up in like the Czech Republic, and then maybe work my way down.
One thing I recommend, I would start now, and that's working on getting your passport if you don't already have one.
I got one. Marilyn doesn't have one though. I have to get her a passport.
The law is
I don't
though.
even know if she'll be able to come. I would love her to be able to come with me, but I don't know if she could take off 2 months.
In the Discord, Ken, I put a reference to a book by Ralph Potts called Vagabonding. That is a book kind of about doing bohemian travel, where it's sort of the ways to really minimize the costs and expenses you have in travel. It's also a bit of a lifestyle book, so some of it is going to be, oh, hey, here's how you can kind of just make a lifestyle out of travel. Well, maybe that's not what you want to do, but you can focus on the sections of it that, okay, here are some strategies for, taking trips that you think are going to be exorbitantly expensive and doing them for a lot less than you believe you can. So, and then if memory serves, he's got a bibliography in there, so that could cross-reference with some other things that, if he mentions names or mentions people that have talked about certain things, well, then you can find some of their books and go and look at them. But that one is kind of a good place to start, is Vagabonding.
Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to go by myself, but I may not end up going.
Well, it's a
It was kind of a bucket list kind of thing, and
Mhm.
I wanted to go before I got too old.
You're only as old as you feel.
Yeah, tell it to my knees.
I would only say you're too old if you're probably in your 70s and 80s and you can't walk for longer than 5 minutes. I mean, not putting anybody that age down. I'm just saying that to me would be traveling would probably be a hindrance. But
Yeah.
I mean, but I could say, look at Jimmy Carter. That man's almost 100. He still gets up and down every day
Yep.
and building houses, riding bikes. Yeah, he's woof.
Yeah, he puts a lot of people half his age to shame.
Exactly.
Well, it was all those pills he had earlier in his life. Got more troubles than Jimmy Carter's got pills.
I heard.
All right, well, we're coming towards the end of break. I think most people are back, so I'm gonna move us back to the map, and I am going to go ahead and change our soundscape again. Back from the music. Okay. All right, so you have come upon this this compound. You see evidence of scorch marks all over the place. You see human bodies that are dead. One of them being eaten on by a pack of wild dogs. What would you like to do?
I look over at Milik and say, this ain't the kind of welcome party I was expecting. In my head.
And Des comes trotting up kind of behind you guys and peeks around your legs a little bit. Not cowardly wise, just kind of looks at these dogs eating at the humans and just ugh. Monsters.
You hear Thalor in his head go, huh, bet you don't want a piece of jerky right now, do you, Des?
I think I can avoid needing jerky. I've kind of lost my appetite after that bad dream last night. Might be a few days before I recover. Ugh. And you see him kind of
see the dog shake.
Start shaking at his head and then ends at the shake at the tail.
Tyler, what's your 2 cents?
Well, I'm all right. Let's go.
We're going to keep going up the road. We're going to go in here and investigate.
What do you think we should do?
Milik? Eddie not back. He might not came back yet. I mean, I can go in and sneak around and get an eye of things real quick if you want me to.
Might as well let me do it since
You are the dog. Yeah.
I am the dog.
Go see what you see.
Alrighty. So he kind of looks around real quick, kind of sniffs the air, tries not to sneeze. This disgusting smells in the air, and then since he's black in color, he starts kind of skirting the outline of the area just a little bit, just trying to blend in with shadows, and then works his way to do a perimeter check, basically.
Okay, so you guys are here where Belle is and doing perimeter. Do you go south first or do you go north first?
I'll go north first.
Okay, go north first. All right. All right. So, you go north, and as you go north, you notice that those dogs are they're just focused on worrying with that corpse. They don't seem to pay any attention to you.
That's fine. He
Uh,
still keeps an eyeball on him.
yeah. Okay. You go all the way up to the corner here.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And the most of the damage and everything seems to be concentrated around the middle of this area. These buildings that are part of this compound, similar to the other buildings you passed, in similar state of disrepair. Vines on the sides, windows busted out, those
Yeah.
types of things.
Okay.
You then go west along the wall. You reach the far west wall, and then you begin to come. As you begin to come down here, you get to about the edge of the square, and you notice that this building here
Mm-hmm.
is partly collapsed. And that looks like a fresher partly collapsed than the some of the other buildings. And there's some fresh scorch marks around that area, as though some violent, perhaps some violent fiery explosion was the cause of its collapse.
Okay.
And make me
Des
a
will keep up a long distance,
Okay.
like, communication with the others.
Okay. Make me a perception check. And with the dog, do you what
Since
kind of
It's supposed to be keeping my own wisdom and intelligence.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So make a perception check then. Oh. Yeah. As you get here, you hear the faint sound. You hear faint sounds, and it sounds like somebody. It sounds like ragged, shallow breathing, and the occasional grunts or moans of somebody who is in pain.
So Des will kind of stick his nose in and around the cracks and stuff and kind of do that whiffle thing that dogs do, kind of, and then do a little sniffing and kind of tells the others, hey, I think there's somebody stuck under here. But he'll try to go in and use his smaller size to see if there's other ways to get in and around some of these rocks and partial collapse building.
Yes. You hear as you wander around, you with your 22, you eventually hear like this intake of breath, which is accompanied by another grunt of pain, which causes a cough, which causes yet more grunts of pain, and then kind of a wheezing voice that says, "No, stay away, go away, stay away."
Okay.
No, and he's like reaching for, his hand is kind of reaching for something that he might try to throw at you, because
so
in his
Des
mind
will
you're a
kind of
dog.
do that.
Is he
Yeah.
wearing a red robe? Can you tell? I
Is he
communicate.
wearing a red robe?
Yes, he is wearing a red robe.
Yes, he is.
And sorry, I missed the first part of this. When the dog, so there's a pack of dogs. Des went in there, and so far we've seen nothing else other than the dogs and this injured person.
As far as everybody else is concerned, or as far as I know, everybody else is waiting for Des to sort of
To do a
scout
perimeter
around the
check,
perimeter.
yeah.
Okay.
And then he's come across this building that's partially collapsed with some scorch marks.
Yeah.
Here's somebody still alive inside, goes in to kind of look and sees somebody that's red-robed.
Yeah, he went north, then he went west, and now he's coming south, and he's
right here.
So I will communicate to Des. Do you want me to send Casper up to scout out the southern part while you check that area a little bit more thoroughly?
Yes.
So I'm going to send Casper again at a low altitude, not to break any kind of high altitude that would go, anywhere higher than, that would trigger possible gargoyles, and just kind of scout out these areas down here at the south.
Now that Mulek is doing that, Falazur and Thaudor, do either of you want to do anything while the other two are using those search methods?
I look over at Falazur. Mulek, are you looking through Casper's eyes, or you just send him to scout?
No, I'm just sending him to scout for right now.
I'm going to try your trick for once. So I make Tony bamf in, so you see this hawk appear on my shoulder. And I telepathically tell Tony, I want you to fly, and I want you to sit right here on top of that hutch and give me your eyes. So I want to look through his eyes and look around from that hutch.
And do you want to hold my shoulder so that you just stay close?
Grab yours and follow your shoulder. So this is going to be a weird experience for me.
Okay.
So
now, since Tony wasn't here, he's not part of the telepathic bond. So he has to stay within 100 feet of you. So he could sit on top of
Oh, that's right.
So
that's fun.
Yeah, so it's similar. He could sit on the edge of this courtyard and see what's going on. All right. So, all right, let's resolve Casper. Casper goes over to the south and he looks around. You have him in the telepathic bond, right? So he can kind of report in.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So I don't need to. I'm not looking through his eyes, but he's going to report what it sees through its limited ability to do that. Yeah.
Okay. It reports smell of carrion. Which it kind of wrinkles its nose at that because owls prefer their prey alive. Dead flesh, if you're really hungry, you can eat it, but much better to eat something while it's still alive, or something that you just freshly killed. And it's already stinking like it's been dead for a bit. As for Tony will perch on this building, and Tony does a scan. And over here, in this corner of the plaza, Thaudor, you see a thing. And the thing that you see is it's a glaive. So a glaive is like a pole arm, and I believe a glaive is the one that has a sword blade on the end of it. And the glaive has been thrust into the remains of a burned out pyre, like where dead people have been burned. Charred snake skulls and blackened inhuman vertebrae are lashed to the spear. On a wall nearby, a symbol has been daubed in ash, and this symbol is a snake curled in a spiral, gripping a circle in its jaws.
Interesting. So I vamp back, and in my mind, I tell, real quick, I tell Fauger and Mulek what I saw on the symbol to say if they know anything about it. I pull out a paper and pencil and draw the symbol as quick as I saw it.
Okay. All right.
And I show it to Fauger, being the lore bard, or even Mulek, both of them being like, hey, you don't recognize this? Because I don't think I do.
Okay. While you guys are contemplating that, you can make me, the two of you can make me religion checks, and then I'm going to go back to Dez. All right. So, Dez, this person is feebly trying to reach for something that it seems like is probably going to try to throw at you because, well, you saw there are dogs attacking a corpse. It sees you as a dog. It probably thinks that, you know.
So Dez will kind of try to creep in a little closer, and then he'll start doing the little pitiful, kind of noises, and then he'll try to stay out of range of like whatever might try to hit him, but he will then like if there's something that he sees that he can maybe grab a hold of with his teeth and like help pull off from the lower region or something like that, like shows that he's trying to help. And
okay. All right. So Des makes some whimpering sounds.
Like the pitiful, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not here to cause pain. I'm here because you're in pain, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, as you get close enough to see it, you can see that this poor guy was unlucky. Part of the roof of this place collapsed, and a fairly large beam of the ceiling is laying across his thighs and has him thoroughly pinned to the ground. Now, as a dog, you probably don't have the strength to move that.
But I'm like, if there were some bricks or something that he could pick up with like his teeth and like deliberately show he's trying to move them off, in ways that normal dogs would not act, type of thing.
Yeah, there's really not much of anything that you can do that way. Probably the only, now you said you wanted to stay out of range of anything he might throw at you, but probably the only way that you would be able to make him realize you're not a threat would be to go over and lick him in the face.
Well, yeah, that
you
was
don't
kind
know
of
how much. Yeah, you don't know how good. Yeah, you don't know how much good that'll do.
Yeah, but he'll still try to keep doing the submissive posturing, and then kind of like do the belly crawl over to him and nudge him with his nose a little bit, and like do the whole whine like a dog does when he's feeling sad or upset, and
then the guy just. He finally realizes that you're at least not immediately going to attack him, and he just says, "Water.
Okay.
Water."
And about that time, he'll get up and will kind of try to skirt the edge there again and go, can somebody or can the bird drop me a water skin?
Okay, so you telepathically send that to...
and I tell him that he's also caught under a large beam, that there's no way that in my current shape, I can lift it. So,
And you would estimate that probably it's going to take more of your friends to help
oh
you,
yeah, but
even if you turn back into your normal.
well, that's why he's not turning
guys.
back into anything yet.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. All right, so we're going to leave you with that. Going to go back to the guys doing religion. Okay, Mulek did a religion. Does Falliger want to do a religion?
Say that- I'm sorry.
Do you want to do a religion check for that symbol that Thaldor drew for you guys? To see if you recognize it. Mulek, you look at it and you go, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, not too much religion study.
I don't know if it's just me, but anybody else notice that your roll 20 chat can pop out of roll 20 now, or roll 20 now?
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know that. It kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, that's one of the changes they made, I think. Okay. Seeing no religion check from Felliger, we'll presume he doesn't make one. Yeah, you don't know what that means. So, all right, then the rest of you get the message from Dez, the telepathic message from Dez about this person needing water.
Have we cleared the area? Do we know if
Well, the whole
Casper and
the whole plaza has not yet been. I guess you've got eyes on the whole plaza, but nobody's done a thorough perimeter search.
Well, and
of
that's
this.
what I was working on. But Dez is kind of like, if you can send in some water in a water skin or something like that I can get to him, then I can finish the perimeter search, and we can. If I don't find anything, then we can go and help this guy.
Or you guys could decide just not to wait for the perimeter search and go in. It's up to you all.
all right, so Mulek will just go ahead and make a rash choice, not waiting. Here, let's see how far away. Oh yeah. So I will burn a 4th level. I'm gonna dimension door over to where Dez is.
Okay. Are you taking anybody with you?
Well, I guess I would ask. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna dimension door over. Anyone want to go with me?
This would be interesting. Why not?
All
Come
right.
on, Falliger.
Well, I can only take one, I think, right?
One? Oh,
Yeah,
then
let's
take
go.
Falliger. Take Falliger. I'll sneak over.
All right.
I'm pretty stealthy. Just take Falliger.
All right. Falliger, let's go for a ride. And
All right, let's do it. Where are we going?
We're gonna go help this poor guy out, and we're gonna dimension door over to where Dez is with the.
Now, query IG has trailed along with you guys, right?
Oh yeah, so IG will be with. He's gonna hold back with Galdor.
All right. So IG will stay there by the door. All right, or by the gate.
I wouldn't have been able to bring him along anyways. He's too big.
Right. All right. So Dez, there is a sound of kind of a mystical, like a whoosh, like a door opening, and you then hear the crunch of boots outside, and you look and you can see that Falliger and Mulek have just arrived here, probably through one of Mulek's spells. So they are here with you.
Good sir. My name is Mulik. We are here to help.
And he looks up and he says, "You're human.
Yes.
You're human."
Yes.
And you can see that this person is a human. He is mostly bald, got wisps of white hair. He looks like he's 40 or older. He's fairly slender. The upper part of his robe is torn. His legs, across the thighs are being pinned down, and his lips are kind of dried and cracked a bit, and he says, "Water, need water."
Can we reach him?
You guys can move around, carefully, and it's not going to take a check or anything, but you can move around carefully and get over to him.
And Des can get to him quickly too. So.
Well, I mean, I want to.
No, there's enough space they can get around and get over to him.
I mean, I have an easy way to get him out, so that's why if he was like just standing right there and I could hand him just to get a couple sips, I would do that. But if it was gonna look like we're gonna have to do a little bit of acrobatics to kind of get in there and maybe risk ourselves with the building collapsing,
no.
Okay.
No.
All right.
You can wander around and scoot around. There's enough parts of this building that have collapsed that you can carefully climb over things without bringing the rest of the building down on top of yourself.
All right.
Anything. So
I'll walk over there and give him some water.
Okay. He takes it and he drinks it and he thank you. Pinned. Pain.
Does it look like me and Falliger could lift whatever's pinning him, or would it take a little bit more?
No, you would probably guess that it would take the two of you, and at a minimum, IG and Des to lift this beam. You see the way it's rests. There's one end of it seems to be collapsed completely on the floor. The other is collapsed on a wall that has shattered and fallen. And it's laying across his legs. So you don't know how much force is on his legs, but clearly he hasn't been able to move himself. So there's at least some pressure on it. And, you might have to, if you wanted to do it without the help of anybody else, it would mean a lot of going and trying to pull small rubble out, and it might take you as long as an hour or two to get enough stuff out of the way that you could then even think about maybe cutting the beam into smaller sections and then getting it off of him.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to talk to the gentleman. Be calm. I'm going to get you out of there. Trust me. And I'm just going to, move my hands a little bit, whisper a few words, and I'm going to cast Vortex Warp and teleport him to where Falliger and I, or where Des is, out of the rubble to a safe spot.
Okay. All right. You're there Falliger's there. Des is there. I need all three of you to make dexterity saving throws, please.
Dexterity saving throw.
Do I need to make a dexterity saving throw?
Yeah, because you're there near Mulek. And Des needs to make a dex save as well.
Add one more to that, but that's... Wow, I didn't do anything good on that one.
Des, I give you my inspiration.
Oh.
Or he uses Chrono Shift. Yeah, there you go.
Well, I've got that ability to have that.
Oh yeah, would you use that, or do you want me?
Well, let me...
Yeah, I would say...
Yeah. I think I'm going to
Gosh.
need a Chrono Shift. Because that's just as bad as the first one.
Okay, so you're...
Well, then you still got to roll again.
Yeah, you got to roll again.
Oh, jeez.
Christ.
Okay. All right. A 10 is good enough. A 10 was the target you guys were looking for.
Oh my God.
Yeah, as he teleports away from that space, that beam settles and more rubble falls. The whole ceiling doesn't, or what's left of the whole ceiling doesn't quite collapse, but rubble does fall down around you all. I'm going to say that he's not having to make this because you're putting him in a safe space.
Oh well, I would have made sure we were in a safe space. I didn't have to be next to him to do this, but I thought there was nothing else risk collapsing where we were at, but we all saved, so I guess it's not a problem.
Yeah, because I was picturing, from the way you described it, I was picturing you're still right next to him with the...
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess I didn't designate that I walked away because I do have quite a bit of range on this.
Okay.
I can be 90 feet away from this.
Okay. All right. So yeah, make sure you designate the steps that you're doing. Things.
Gotcha.
All right. So yes, by virtue of the dice, you all are safe. He shudders and he kind of weakly covers his head, but then when he does, he groans in pain, and you can see that at least one of his legs looks like it's not at the right angle that it should be.
Whoops.
So at least one of his legs is probably broken, maybe both of them, and there are some bruises now that he's kind of out from under that rubble. There are some bruises, part of where his robe is tattered on his torso. You can see some deep bruising on his ribs, and then some bruising on his on one of his forearms and things like that. So this poor guy just really got, literally the building collapsed on top of him. And, if you guys hadn't come along, he surely would have died.
Falliger, do you got anything to help this poor soul?
Out of character, like... Would Falliger know that if he could help this thing?
Oh, I mean, it's like he's a human, so you could do anything from a cure light wounds to a medicine check to, if you wanted to spare one of your potions of healing, that would probably help him. Now, medicine check, if you're going to do anything about his leg, you could do a medicine check to try to maybe set his leg before you give him the potion, so that everything knits together. The right
Sure, I'll
way,
do
or
a.
before you
I'll do a
do
medicine
it cure
check.
wounds or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, that'd work.
He just says, "Yeah, looks like I could probably set this leg."
He says, "Oh, thank you. Hey, beware the Yuan-Ti."
Oh, don't thank me just yet. This is gonna hurt like a son of a bitch.
Oh, okay.
And if you don't guide yourself, I'll give you a pill to help you.
I'll cast guidance.
He squeezes his eyes shut, and he kind of tenses his fists, and his body trembles a little bit as he's bracing for
I kind of kneel down and just kind of get my bearings and visually inspect it. And ask Mulek, can you, Mulek, you might want to help me here, hold him down.
All right, I'll just hold him still.
Yeah, you put your hands on his shoulders to sort of pin him down, and you realize when you do that he seems very weak.
And while Father's doing that, I'm gonna slip a spider, one of my cure wounds, on him. So
After I set the leg or before?
just to kind of calm him, and then kind of simultaneously.
Okay, simultaneously. Yeah. Roll that medicine check when you get a chance, Maliger. Oh man, yeah. Actually, you set the leg, and he's there, and he's like, "Tell me when it's gonna hurt." And you realize you've already set the leg, and you apparently did that with such a deft and gentle touch that it didn't hurt him the way that you thought it would. And as that happens, the spider begins doing its thing, and it gives him the let's see, it gives him this. All right. Oh yeah. Oh, he is amazed when he then opens his eyes, and he sees that his leg has been straightened, and he sees this creature, or this mechanical creature, and then he looks at you, Falliger, and he says, or he looks at you, Falliger, yes, and he says, a very deft touch. Thank you, Doctor. And then he looks at Mulek, and he says, from that teleport spell, I would have taken you for a wizard, but this looks like the work of an artificer.
Well, let's just say there's a little bit of both in me.
Oh.
My name is Mulek. What is yours?
I am called Orvex. Orvex Orcamus. I am a scribe here to try to find the source of this death curse, along with my party. We are from Thay.
Whoa. Falliger says, are you part of a particular order there, or? Do you work for someone from Thay or what?
I am. I have always been fascinated by ancient magical writings. And as a young man, I was told that to gain learning about this, the best place that the people in my city knew about to go learn would be in Thay. So I sojourned there as a young man and apprenticed myself to one of the wizards. I have seen many wondrous and amazing and some terrible things in my time. But when this
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
when this death curse came, we, the sages and the warlocks and the necromancers and the clerics all divined what they could, and it seemed that somewhere here in Chult was the source of this. And more specifically, we began to learn about the rumors of an ancient city, this Omu. We had only been in the city for a few hours when we found this place and thought it might make a good camp. But then we were ambushed by a large number of Yuan-Ti. I don't know if any of my other fellow party members have survived.
Fellinger just kind of gives a look at Mulek. Like,
Remember, you guys have the telepathy thing, so you can talk to each other without him hearing you.
First of all, what? I mean, I feel like this guy just said Thay, which Fallinger would have known something about Thay. And then he's wearing red robes. I'm just wondering if I can
would be like
put two to two together and make some kind of check to see what I know about this.
I think you both can. It would be probably I would guess it would be Mulek, you can do either Arcana or History, and for Fallinger, I think you would do History, probably with advantage.
Okay.
Based on the fact that you're a lore bard.
Guidance.
Okay.
Hey, look, guys! The sky!
I'm not there.
Yeah, well, yeah. Des would hear this, but Des doesn't have any particular things. Okay. All right.
Got
26. 26 for that and 23 for you guys. So yeah, you both know quite a bit. All right. You know that Thay is a
Freaking
yeah, they are wizards. Typically, they are thought of by people outside of Thay as being evil. They are an offshoot of a nation, an ancient nation called Mohorand. And Mohorand was a nation that was ruled by a series of god kings. And these wizards in ancient times declared that they were no longer under the authority of the God Kings, and there was a magical battle that they fought to win their freedom, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you do know that Red Wizards, or the Red Wizards of Thay, they openly practice, and you don't know whether they encourage, but they don't discourage necromancy. So Thay is one of the few civilized places in the known parts of Faerun where, as a necromancer, you can go and openly practice your craft, and you won't be, cut down by city guards, or burned at the stake by clerics, or driven out of town by mobs with pitchforks. So and you also both know that the current leader of Thay is a character called Zas Tam. And Zas Tam is purported to be a lich. He is currently the ruler of Thay. So, liches, they have a reputation of not being nice guys. So this person here certainly hasn't seemed threatening. He's seemed grateful. He's pretty much at your mercy. You guys, just by looking at him, can tell that he probably is suffering from exhaustion in addition to the injuries he had, which he's looking, his legs now don't look like they're bent in the wrong direction. And a lot of his bruises are lessened, and he seems to be breathing easier. But, he still has injuries.
So when he's this kind of all happens pretty quick, but
yeah,
when he starts talking about his company get ambushed and he's just a scribe and all that stuff, can I do an insight check on him?
Sure. Oh, wow. Insight 32. Yeah, this guy seems to be telling the truth. Now, you would guess that he's probably from, let's see, where he might be from one of the nations around Thay, which is kind of over near the Sunrise Mountains, which is much farther inland on the continent of Faerun than the Sword Coast. It's probably a good 1,000 or 2,000 miles to the east from the Sword Coast. So they're, his accent is a little different than what you're used to, but he speaks common.
Okay. Ballinger just kind of looks at Mulek for a second and then kind of looks back down at the guy. But while he's doing that, he says in his through the telepathic bond, he says, "Hey, Mulek, do you know much about the country of Thay and the Red Wizards that live there and its history?" about the leader that currently rules it?
I do. And there's a little bit of concern.
Well, this guy's telling the truth.
Do we need to worry about him?
I mean, damn. You always got to be worried about anybody officially from Thay, much less part of the Wizard Order. But I mean, he's telling the truth when he says he's just a scribe. But my concern is, what does their leader, what was his name again, out of character?
Zaztan.
Yeah. My concern is, what does Zaztan want in regards to this other lich that we're here to stop?
It's probably just like any other person wanting power. When something's going on, they want to figure out what the cause is, and they send their minions to do their bidding. And these poor souls just got their, they're all gone. Yeah.
All right. While you guys are over there, Faldor, you've one of the things that you were able to tell from Tony, because Tony has such keen sight and everything, even in his kind of scan of this whole plaza area, you were able to see a total of about 30 corpses. And the corpses all seem to be those of humans. There are 2 corpses that don't appear to have been wearing any armor at all, and had the kind of the finest of the red robes. There were about 20 corpses that seem to be dressed in different types of armor, but have red robes over the armor, and they are armed, or they look like they would have been armed with various kinds of weapons, but no weapons are around. And there are some backpacks and a few pouches, but those have clearly been ripped and rifled through, and anything of value has been taken from those backpacks and pouches. And then there's about maybe half a dozen or so corpses that look like they are not from the same ethnic group. They're human, but their skin tone is different. It's darker. It's and they are dressed in very light clothing, and it looks like some of them have are outfitted like they might have been carrying packs of supplies or things like that. But again, anything that's of any value has been stripped from them, and the robes they were wearing have just been cut up.
Do I see any UNT remains too?
You do not see any UNT remains, but I'll point out what Tony saw over there once again. This big spear, polearm spear, was thrust into the remains of a burned out pyre, like a funeral pyre.
Mm-hmm.
And there's charred snake skulls and blackened inhuman vertebrae.
Got you.
The spear.
So they had a funeral pyre going. There was a fight, and I got it.
Yeah.
That part I can put together. Thouder would probably try to make his way towards the guys stealthily Getting past the dogs and everything.
Yeah, you make me kind of an insight check as you go, and you can make me a stealth check too. But
Not a problem.
I would have told IG to
There
stay.
goes.
I would have told IG to stay with Thaldor. So, but you would have heard me say that. So, Thaldor, what would you tell if you're going to move in? Think of what you would tell the Iron Giant.
okay,
To stay stationary and watch the perimeter outside this gate.
okay. So as you begin to move, Thaldor, you're pretty sure you're being stealthy, but you notice a couple of times, motion from your friends over in that other part of the plaza. That motion has caught the eye of those dogs, and they look up a little bit, but then they just go back to what they were doing. They don't seem to be interested in your friends. And you would perhaps presume from that insight they probably wouldn't be interested in you either. Now, if you walked right towards them, they might get defensive, thinking that you're trying to take their meal, but they don't seem to have any interest in you guys that are up and walking around. They just seem to be interested in making a meal of these corpses.
10-4. I got you. See, I'm just gonna go in there with the boys and see what's going on.
Yeah, you find them with this figure, and other than the dogs and your party, this guy seems to be the only living soul in this whole plaza.
What's Dez up to?
Dez has been watching, but then after a while, he goes off and starts investigating more of the area that we haven't had a chance to cover yet.
Yeah, basically, you find that big funeral pyre with the snake skulls. That they're snake-like skulls that are about the size of human skulls. So it's pretty big snakes. And the vertebrae that are large enough to be human vertebrae, but they're definitely not human. And you see that thing. So, and it's very clear that this pyre was built, and these people that were burned were intentionally placed in this area. So it has kind of a ritualistic sense to this. And the fact that none of the human remains were burned gives you an indication that, there was some sort of significance to that fire, to whoever built it and burned it.
Gotcha.
So, and then, you go around, and other than the dogs, and if you make a complete loop from where you started, other than the dogs, you don't see anything else alive in here.
Okay. Alrighty, that's about it. He'll make a circle, just making sure nothing was missed, and then we'll go and just sit down and wait.
Does Thaldor make his presence known, or is he still stealthy?
I'm outside the door of where you are at, and I tell you telepathically that I'm outside the door.
Ballinger says, "We found a survivor. He had broken leg. I fixed it. We healed him up. He is from the land of Thay, and he's a scribe. So far, he's been honest with us. But I don't know if you know anything about the Red Wizards of Thay, but their leader of Thay is pretty common knowledge that he's a lich. So we should be on our guard. What time is it?"
You guys.
No, that's a question
probably,
to Thaldor directly.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Faldor, you would know from the angle of the sun in the sky, and for that matter, Mulek, you would know that it's been about an hour since you did the telepathic bond, so you've got a few more minutes of that, and it's going to run out pretty soon. Because I think telepathic bond in this edition only lasts for an hour.
Yep.
Right.
Copy that.
So time of day, what is it about?
Oh,
Finish, noonish?
no, it's mid-morning. 9:30 maybe.
I tell Fowler it's probably about 9-ish in the morning.
Well, good. That means we have about 10 hours to find a safe place to rest tonight. And I recommend no fires or nothing. This place
Sounds
is
good to
crawling
me.
with shit that wants to kill us.
Sounds about right.
And he kind of like tells everybody that through Telepathic Bond, I guess. And
And I'll communicate also along with that. Is like we need to question him to find out what exactly happened here. You know.
While you guys are doing this, Orvex kind of is looking at you, and all those of you who are casters, doesn't even take an Arcana check. He's used to being around people that use magic a lot, and kind of eventually a little slow smile comes onto his face.
He knows we're talking about him.
Yeah, he realizes you guys are communicating in a way that he can't hear, and he says, telepathic bond, and says that's a question to Neil.
Falazure has been banned. Like while I've been doing this in our mind with the magic, I've been basically wrapping up his leg, and when he says that, I just kind of like a little over tighten the last ribbon of cloth. I just kind of like a quick, like to finish the bandage.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, that's still tender. And then he looks at you and he says, "I thought so."
And I'll say, does that bother you? Regarding the telepathic bond.
No, it seems prudent.
Fowler wants to sneak in behind him. I want to get in behind this guy and just scare the shit out of him.
If we had known to expect you on tea here, we likely would have used the same among our band. But alas, we did not. Tell me, have you seen any of my other brothers? Do any of them live?
I can hear him talking, so I tell.
yeah.
Des just sits there next to him and shakes his head like, nope.
I tell Falak and Falliger and Mulek, I sit there and say, yeah, they're all dead in the courtyard, but I'm not going to say that out loud.
You're going to say that out loud?
I said I'm not. I said it to him telepathic before it runs out. Like, yeah, they're all out in the courtyard.
Okay.
He's the last one.
Mulek's just going to kind of divert the question and just say, why don't you tell us exactly what happened?
Well, Zastam gave the leader of our expedition a wizard who is named a wizard who is named Fenriddek. Right, so I'm going to do this. Leader of the band party.
You putting that in the NPC names? Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that as well. All right. So he says Fenrindek had access to some of Zastam's maps of Omu, and so we were able to teleport to Port Nyanzaru, and we met with one of the trade princes there, and we were able to get some porters, and Zastam sent along several of the other warriors and a few other scrolls of teleportation. And once we got to Port Nyanzaru, we were able to use some of our gold to find people who had some ancient maps of the interior of Omu. And one of the trade princes actually had a map of this place, of Omu. It was fairly accurate in terms of locating where it was. So then, after a couple of days of studying in Port Nyanzaru, 4 of us together cast teleportation, and we each brought some of our warriors and some of our porters, and we arrived fairly close, about an hour away from Omu, and surprisingly enough, within about a half mile of each other. So it took us a bit to hack our way through the jungle to find each other, and then another few hours to get here. But we camped outside of Omu one night, and then yesterday morning we entered the city. And as I said, soon after we got here, we decided this would be where we would set our base camp while we explored Omu. And as we were getting things set up, we were ambushed by the Yuan-Ti.
From which direction did you enter the city?
From the south. From the southwest, which that's the same area that you started in.
And I'm thinking we were there the night before, so
No. You were there last night. He's talking about the night before last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they were one day ahead of us.
Yeah, they were basically a day ahead of you.
But thank goodness we didn't come in a day earlier. We'd met the Yuan-Ti like this head on.
Yeah, well, in Mulik's thinking, we saw those Yuan-Ti, or you had seen those Yuan-Ti up watching that entrance, and so Mulik's just thinking maybe they were followed in and then attacked once they were, all in this area.
Let me ask you this, good sir. What is y'all's real purpose? I mean, I'll just be blunt with you. What are y'all really doing here? Do you even know?
Well, in Thay, we have many wizards who have been resurrected from the dead. And, of course, the death curse is affecting them, just as it seems to, from our research, it seems to be affecting everybody. We've had contact with some spies who are in Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate and several other cities on the Sword Coast, and they all report the same thing. So it seems to be something affecting everyone. Zastam truly does want to see the death curse ended for the benefit of Thay. I don't think that would be a surprise. I think all leaders of all cities would probably want it ended for that reason. Now, I do know that Fenrendic was especially close to Zastam, so it might be that Zastam gave him some additional orders that I was not privy to. It also would not surprise me that Zastam would want to find if there was anything that he might think of magical or other value from this place. But
what is something that Fenrendic was wearing? Did he have any tattoos, jewelry?
Oh, yes, he liked to wear emeralds. He had bracers that were set with emeralds, and he had an emerald choker that gave him, I think it helped him be harder to hit in combat. And he had a few rings with jade. Some of them were merely decorative, but I think one of them at least was an emerald ring that had spell storing. Yes. As far as tattoos, no, not Fenrendic. He didn't have any tattoos. He didn't like those.
Any other identifying qualities about his body?
Well, his left earlobe is a bit misshapen. It that stems from, and then he starts to laugh a little bit. That stems from an accident with an imp that he summoned one time that he didn't properly keep under control, and it bit the lower part of his ear off. Of course, he was able to reattach it, but it never was quite right after that.
In the few minutes that we have remaining with the spell, Balashir says, "You see anybody with that description among the dead?"
Thaldor, you didn't get that close a look at them. You'd have to go inspect the bodies to see if you could find anybody matching that description.
All right, I'll sneak over and go look at the bodies.
You spend about 10 minutes looking around, and you find one of the bodies that has some, a mangled left earlobe. As you look at that body, obviously there's no valuables on it, but it's clear that that person had been wearing some rings and some bracers on their wrists. And, there's kind of a pattern of wear on the front of their robe, like they probably had something around their neck that was rubbing against that on a regular basis. So, yeah, this is probably your guy.
All right, well, then I'll walk back in the room this time, and I look over at Valor Mulek, and I say, yeah, he's one of the few outside.
And he says, "Oh, is he still alive?"
I'm
'Cause
sorry.
By this time, the
Yeah, it's wore off. Yeah.
it wore off. So he'll look at Thaldor and he says, "Is he still alive?"
I'm sorry, but he's not.
Oh, and he says, "Well, did any of them survive? Were there any other survivors that you found?"
Oh, just you that I'm aware of.
Can I insight this information that he's been giving us? I just want to know if he's lying about any.
Sure, you can make
thing.
an insight check to see if he's being honest with you.
Guidance.
Oh,
Wow.
jeez.
You need to go to Vegas. That's 2 nat 20s in a row.
Yeah, this guy, he doesn't seem to see any reason to play you false.
Okay.
He's telling you to the best of his knowledge, and like he said, he's kind of admitted that the leader may have had more instructions than the rest of them did, but
I just
as
wanted
far
to
as
make
he
sure that like he's not. I just want to make sure that he's not actually
He's really the leader.
right. Yeah, it's like I'm just.
yeah.
That he didn't go to murder all of his people just to, be trapped under a building.
Yeah. He says, if they're all dead, then that means I'm the last one left. Please, may I accompany you while you're here? I don't think I would survive very long on my own.
And Thaldor looks him up and down. What skills do you have?
I know many ancient languages. I can read and translate many languages, including the cryptic form of writing that used to be used in ancient Chult.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I've got a test for you.
Oh, you're talking about my... Yeah?
No, the pyre, the writing that you.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Write it on the wall, see if you can decipher it. But I have Insightful Manipulator. Is his intelligence higher or lower than mine?
What is your intelligence?
18. It's equal, superior, or inferior, is how I put it, yeah.
Inferior.
Okay, then. So I smirked, look over at Mulek and like, he might. Let's see what he can do.
Okay, now this is your own special cipher,
Yes.
which you have not taught to anybody.
I taught it to Mulek and Tyler.
You've not taught to him.
Oh, I was talking about the writing that was seen over by the pyre.
That
Falliger,
writing.
that Falliger and I couldn't decipher. We couldn't
right.
The
Yes.
image.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
image.
So what he's telling, that's what Mulek's thinking, like, oh, he may be able to help us with that.
Oh,
Since
so
you
I
have
pulled it out.
Mastermind, you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled the drawing up that I showed Mulek and Falliger. What does this mean?
And he looks at it and he goes a bit pale and he kind of shudders a bit. He says, "Oh, that is an evil sign. That is one of the ancient symbols of Rosnis. Or, I'm sorry, not Rosnis. That's one of the ancient symbols of Dendar, the Night Serpent."
So Thaldor then looks at the other two and go, okay, makes sense now.
It means that Dendar will devour the world. That's why it holds the circle in its jaws.
That was the UNT funeral pyre, then, guys, out near the courtyard. At least y'all killed what looked like how many skulls? One or two, or just one UNT?
Oh no! It looks like there was probably a good between a dozen and 20 skulls.
Well, damn. At least you killed 20 of the bastards. Can't complain too much.
Yes, but they just kept coming and coming.
Well, they do breathe like snakes. Ba-doom.
Was the fire from you or from them? Like all the fire damage that we see in the courtyard and stuff. That's what I'm meaning.
There. I believe that this building was probably targeted by one of our own casters. I got separated and ran in here trying to hide, thinking I could find my way to an upper story and perhaps target with some spells out of the window. But very shortly after I got in here, I heard a door open and ducked down, and I saw some UNT entering the door, and they were looking around, and then they erupted in a ball of fire, and the building collapsed. So
What time of day did they attack?
They attacked in broad daylight. It was
They're
before noon.
ballsy.
It was before noon.
And you had a campfire going?
You realized when you got here what you thought was the smoke of a campfire was
Pyre.
the remains of that pyre
Okay.
that was drifting. That smoke that was drifting up in the air.
Okay.
When in the evening, when Thaldor went out to look around, it was a little too dark to see the smoke then, but it's. It was such a big pyre that it's gonna probably take a couple of days for it to all the embers to completely burn out.
Well, Palazier says to the guy, he says, well, we could use someone like you. I recommend you stay towards the back and just help us stay out of trouble as much as we can. But
what spells are you good at? Sorry, Fauser, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, that's fine.
I have just a few minor spells. My talents are in magical writings, not in the memorization of spells. I can do magic missile and mage armor and a couple of others, but when I regain my strength, I'm fairly handy with a short sword, and if I don't seem to have any of my equipment, but I was noted as a mean marksman with a hand crossbow.
Might have a few extra tools lying around. What do you say, Milik?
Yeah, I mean, the more the merrier. Obviously, there's a lot of these snake people around that we need to be careful of. Is there anything that you saw when they attacked that could help us if we see them again?
They spoke a name in their harsh tongue. They spoke a name that seemed to be, I don't know, like some kind of battle cry or rallying cry. for them. And they kept saying, "For the glory of Rasnis."
Did they have any weaknesses?
Well, they didn't like the magical fire. But then not many living things do.
True.
Fireball is useful against just about everything except for demons, devils.
Okay, well, say we try to tend to your wounds. Can we tell how wounded he is?
You think that with a night's rest, his injuries will be recovered, but you can tell he has some exhaustion, and you're not sure whether one night is going to be enough to clear all of the exhaustion or not. So, with no other intervention by you guys, by tomorrow morning, he's going to be fully healed hit point wise, but he may still have the effects of a level or two of exhaustion.
Okay.
Quick question. Do we have any idea where the hell we're supposed to be going once we're here?
No.
Like-
I don't think so.
I don't think we had an idea.
Looking at this map, I mean, do we know that there's this huge like lava ravine or something to our east? Do we see this?
You were told that part of the city had collapsed into the caldera of lava, and you were told that there are supposed to be 9 temples scattered throughout the city, and that one of them was supposed to be on top of that pillar of rock in the middle of that lava pool.
We have no idea which temple that is.
No, but that's possible that in our next session, it's possible that your new friend Orcus may know, or Orvex may know something about that. Basically, you were just trying to figure out who he was, whether he was telling you the truth tonight. You didn't ask him too many specifics, but
can we see it physically from where we're at, or is
no, there's too many buildings in the way.
Okay.
To see that. And when you're inside this compound, the outer walls of this compound are too high.
Got it.
Also,
I just didn't know how tall this was, is what I was getting at. Like,
Is this a highway? Sort of like a raised platform?
This is a raised either wide wall or a raised road of some kind that seems to bisect most of the city.
Because I got one over here too.
Yeah. So
out of character, at least, this looks like almost impossible to get to. But
fly, buddy, fly!
No,
I got.
Well,
fly.
we have helmet teleportation, so I could just be like.
Yeah, because you can see
dimension door.
That.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, you can see that location, so you could say, "I want to be right there," and the helmet teleportation would take you right. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. We'll definitely have to try to figure out. That's out of character. That's definitely.
Yeah, so you guys can be thinking about some of those things you want to do. Be thinking about some questions you might want to have for Orvex next time to help you to see what lore he may have heard about the city, what he knows. He may be able to put some information together with information you have to try to help you figure out where to go and what to find.
Sounds good.
All right.
Well, before we end, Melik's just going to pull out some marshmallows and go roast some marshmallows.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, and on that note, viewers, thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. Players, thank you so much for being here. I have been DM Galabon. This has been session 91 of the Sword Coast Chronicles. And yay, we are into the storyline from Tomb of Annihilation. Couple of announcements of things coming up later this week. On Monday, of course, the brand new source book, Monsters of the Multiverse, dropped. And I have been going through that, and I've been interested in some of the things I've seen. I've been a little disappointed with some of the things I've seen. And I've had some different ideas about some of the things I've seen. So on Friday night, I think around 8 o'clock, I am going to do a very special live stream like I do for most new content releases from Wizards. And I will do my first impressions of Monsters of the Multiverse. I'll put together some notes about that. We'll go through a few things. We'll take a look at a few monsters. And we will take a look at how they are presenting spellcasting monsters different now than how they presented them earlier in 5e. And I'll give you some thoughts on that. I believe I understand why they did it, but I'm not sure it's what I would have done if I had the same goals they did. So we'll talk about what they did. We'll talk about why they did it. We'll talk about what I think about it, and I will show you an alternative. Because remember, if you are the DM in your game, it's your table, it's your rules. Just because the book says a monster works a certain way doesn't mean it has to work that way in your game. Following the rules as written is always easier. It offloads a lot of cognitive load on your part because you just have to look at the rules and see how things work. But if you don't like the way something works, you can always homebrew a little bit. It's best if you try to remain consistent with that, though. So that's what I will say about that. There's Saturday game, yes. Sunday game, no. Monster Monday will be a book from the new Monsters of the Multiverse, and then we will not play next Wednesday. Paul would know what I'm talking about because all I have to do is say it's like FA Cup. But our team has advanced to the next round in the U.S. Open Cup competition, which is the national championships for soccer that features all the teams from all of the levels of the soccer pyramid in this country. And we are hosting a match against our in-state rivals next Wednesday night. So I will be at the stadium cheering on the team, hoping that we advance from the round of 16 to the round of 8. And we will see how the team does. And it will be even more important because it's beating the upstart David Beckhams from Miami. Gotta pound those guys into the ground any chance we get. It's kind of like I don't know who the natural rival for the Predators is in hockey, but whenever those guys come to town, you really want to beat them.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So it's kind of like Miami is for us. Michael, anything coming up on the Doors of Fear channel in the next week you want people to know about?
Maybe Saturday night. I'll be streaming when I get off work some Sea of Thieves. And then next Tuesday and Wednesday, I think I might do something Wednesday since you won't be hosting a game. I might play something Wednesday night next week if anybody wants to join me. And we'll have fun. But no, other than that, Also, let everybody know. Get on D&D Beyond right now. They're giving away the Minds of Feldever for free right now, and they're giving away a source book. They're giving away. I just read about it. I just blanked. Oh, Acquisitions Incorporated. They're giving that book away for free. And also, after next month, since the launch of Mordenkainen's Monsters of the Multiverse, they're getting rid of Bolo's Guide to Monsters, and there's one other book they're taking off the digital platform.
Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes,
those
they.
two.
And what's interesting is that a lot of the monsters in Monsters of the Multiverse are reprinted and slightly updated from Tome of Foes and Volo's Guide to Monsters. And one of the things I'll be doing Friday night is showing you side-by-side comparisons of how they've changed them and what they're doing. And everybody, you can find Michael's channel over at twitch.tv/Doors of Here. So go check him out. He's a variety streamer. Always a lot of fun what he does over there. All right. Any other announcements?
Hope you have fun at your soccer game next week.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope they win. All right, guys. Take care, and Heather, take care. Have a great week. And viewers, hope you have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you next time.